Hey, movie lovers, welcome back to Pop Movie Recap. If you want more movie recaps and the latest updates, stay tuned by subscribing to Pop Movie Recap. Now, let's jump right into the action. Farhan, a 30-year-old man, finds himself on a flight moments away from departure when he receives a shocking phone call that visibly rattles him. Just as the plane begins to take off, Farhan abruptly leaves his seat, intending to approach a flight attendant. A sudden and sharp chest pain forces him to collapse. The pilots promptly make an emergency landing, and Farhan is wheeled out in a wheelchair. Farhan suddenly opens his eyes, revealing that he had been faking the heart attack. He proceeds to perform a few jumping jacks, before making a swift escape. His destination is his friend Raju's house, where he calls Raju to deliver the shocking news that their long-lost friend, Rancho, is back in town. Raju rushes out without bothering to put on his shoes. When the friends reunite, Farhan playfully points out that Raju forgot to wear his pants, but the joy of meeting Rancho overshadows any concern about the missing garment. Together, they visit their former college engineer, Chatter, who turns out to be their old college rival, an egocentric and gullible man. It is revealed that Chatter had made a bet with Farhan and their group during college. The agreement was to meet 10 years later on the 5th of September to determine who had achieved the most success. While everyone else had forgotten about this seemingly absurd bet, Chatter remembered and orchestrated their reunion, bringing them all back to the same place. The missing pants become inconsequential in comparison to the joy of reuniting with their long-lost friend and the unexpected revival of a forgotten college pact. Chatter reveals that he is not only the vice president of Rockledge Corporation but also a millionaire. Chatter discloses that Rancho left abruptly after college and had never contacted them since. Despite multiple attempts to find him, they had eventually given up. Frustrated with Chatter for seemingly wasting their time, he drops the bombshell that Rancho is currently in Simla. Chatter proposes taking them on a trip to Simla to reunite them with Rancho and to showcase the success he has achieved in his life. A flashback transports us to the time when Farhan started college, sharing a room with Raju and Rancho. Farhan struggled with the pressure of pursuing engineering solely for his father's wishes, while Raju, overwhelmed by fear of the future, found it difficult to focus on the present. In contrast, Rancho stood out. The narrative shifts to their initial encounter with Rancho during the notorious tradition of freshmen being bullied by seniors. It was customary for seniors to strip freshmen and make them bow, a ritual symbolizing respect towards their elders and, perhaps, a veiled expression of repressed homosexuality. While others complied, Rancho refused to participate. He locked himself in his dorm room, taking a stand against the demeaning tradition. Despite the bully leader's threats, when faced with the bully attempting to urinate in front of his door, Rancho exhibits cleverness. He attaches an electric wire to a spoon and slides it under the door. When the bully urinates on it, he gets electrocuted, earning admiration and laughter from everyone witnessing the incident. The narrative then shifts to the introduction of the college's strict dean, Viru, commonly known as Virus among the students. According to his philosophy, students should strictly adhere to instructions to achieve success. Dean Virus despises wasting time and exemplifies this by having Velcro instead of buttons on his shirts and hooks on his ties. Every year, Dean Virus addresses the first-year students, delivering a speech about a special pen he received from his teacher. He claims that the pen, an astronaut's pen, was invented by scientists after years of research to enable writing in space. Dean Virus emphasizes that he has been waiting to bestow the pen upon an exceptional student like himself. However, despite his 20-year career, he has not found a student he deems worthy of the pen. In essence, Dean Virus holds a high opinion of himself and delivers the same speech to each new batch of students. However, Rancho breaks the silence by asking why astronauts didn't use a pencil instead of a pen. Dean Virus is taken aback, unable to provide an immediate response. Millimeter commends Rancho for his bold question. Rancho hands Millimeter some money to purchase a school uniform. Rancho stands out among the students who merely act as puppets for the professors. He asks his own questions, provides his own answers, and genuinely loves engineering. Unfortunately, his attentiveness is often misunderstood as mischief by the teachers, leading to his frequent dismissal from class. Undeterred, Rancho simply joins another class when expelled from one. His purpose in college transcends obtaining a diploma. He is there to study. Despite Roy's genius project, Dean Virus refuses to acknowledge it due to a missed submission deadline. Virus even contacts Roy's father, bluntly informing him that his son won't graduate. Unmoved by the father's distress, Virus remains adamant about not giving Roy a second chance. In response, Roy defiantly throws his project. Rancho discovers the innovative machine left behind by Roy and realizes that with a bit of polishing, he dedicates himself to completing the project. When finished, they fly the drone to Roy's room, only to find his lifeless body. They rush to his room and witness the tragic outcome of the immense pressure imposed by the college system. Rancho confronts Dean Virus, attributing Roy's death to the college's oppressive environment. Virus takes the accusation personally and responds by writing a letter to Farhan and Raju's parents, Rancho as a negative influence who should be held accountable. The next day, Farhan's father calls them home, instructing Rancho to stay away from his son. Rancho seems distracted by wildlife pictures on the wall, revealing Farhan's suppressed passion for wildlife photography. Despite Rancho's efforts to convince Farhan's father otherwise, the deeply ingrained and narrow-minded principles prevail. The friends then visit Raju's home, discovering that his family lives in poverty. Raju's father is bedridden and retired, while his sister faces challenges finding a suitable marriage prospect. The family's financial burden rests heavily on Raju. Subsequently, the friends pretend to be guests at a wedding to enjoy the festivities. During the event, Rancho overhears a conversation between a girl named Pia and her fiancé Suvis. Although discussing a watch, the conversation implies that Suvis is a materialistic man marrying Pia solely for her social status. Openly shares his thoughts with Pia and drops a dressing into Sulas's expensive shoes. Sulas reacts dramatically. Intrigued by Rancho's distinct personality, Pia conducts some investigation and discovers that Rancho is a student of her father, Dean Virus. Unfortunate for the trio, the wedding they had crashed happened to be Dean Virus's elder daughter's celebration. Pia informs her father about the three friends, leading to trouble for them. Shatur, seeking to distract everyone, sneaks adult magazines into their dorm rooms. When Rancho catches wind of this plan, he is determined to teach Shatur a lesson. Seizing an opportunity, Shatur is invited to give a Hindi speech at a crucial charity event. Unaware that Rancho has swapped important words in the speech with inappropriate ones, Shatur ends up unintentionally insulting the VIPs during the event. Facing consequences for his actions, Shatur challenges the friends to determine who will be the most successful in 10 years, marking the date on the wall, September 5. One day, Rancho encounters Pia and Sulas outside a jewelry store where Sulas has just bought Pia an expensive watch. Rancho, curious, conducts an experiment, persuading Pia to pretend she lost the watch. Sulas reacts angrily, revealing his true colors. Sulas, revealing his materialistic side once again. Pia decides to break up with him on the spot. Rancho receives a call informing him that Raju's father is having a seizure. He and Pia rush to Raju's house, managing to get his father to the hospital just in time to save his life. Grateful and remorseful, Raju begins to see how much Rancho cares about his friends, and he starts to develop feelings for him. As the results of the first semester exams are published, Farhan and Raju rank in the lowest positions but are relieved they didn't fail. However, to their utmost surprise, Rancho secures the first position, leaving Shatur in second place. Varus, who harbors resentment toward Rancho, is among the most disappointed in the crowd. Varus seizes the opportunity to take a picture with the top two students. Returning to the present, Raju and Farhan, accompanied by Shatur, reach Simla to reunite with Rancho. They discover that Rancho's father passed away that morning. In the midst of mourning, they approach a man who claims to be Rancho. However, to their confusion, this man is someone else, and even the college picture they took together is different. The friends retreat to a nearby restaurant to contemplate their next step. Shatur mentions a renowned scientist and inventor named Juan Du, who is expected to sign $1 million deal with his company the following week. Unimpressed by the mention of the supposed great scientist, Farhan and Raju are determined to uncover the truth behind the identity theft. Returning to the house, they confront the imposter and demand information about the real Rancho. The imposter brandishes a gun in an attempt to intimidate them. While Shatur panics and runs away, Farhan and Raju, undeterred, retaliate by threatening to dispose of his father's ashes in the toilet unless he reveals the truth. Under the pressure of their threat, the imposter finally discloses that he is the genuine Rancho. The guy who went to college with them is his gardener's son, referred to as Chot. During their childhood, Chot used to complete Rancho's homework and studies. When Rancho's father discovered this, he allowed Choate to continue because Rancho needed a degree, and Choate needed an education. Rancho had promised not to maintain contact after graduation. Once Farhan and Raju learn about Rancho's new address, they set out to find him once again. Flashing back to their final year of college, the friends were anxious about upcoming job recruitments. During a speech about recruitment, Dean Virus insulted Farhan and Raju, proclaiming that they would never secure jobs, calling them losers and publicly ridiculing them. Fueled by anger, the three friends got drunk that night. In their inebriated state, Rancho revealed that Farhan had a letter in his bag addressed to his favorite photographer, whom he aspired to work with. During their drunken night, Rancho accuses Raju of being a constant worrier about the future and labels him a coward. In response, Raju and Farhan challenge Rancho to act on his words and confess his feelings to Pia. The friends break into Dean Virus's house and sneak into Pia's room. There, Rancho, finding Pia asleep, confesses his feelings, only to discover that he had been talking to her pregnant sister, Mona. Virus wakes up to find Rancho at his doorstep and notices Raju's face in the dark. The friends, still inebriated, fall asleep in class and wake up to find everyone studying. An angry Virus storms into the classroom, finding them red-eyed and still drunk from the previous night. Later, Raju is summoned to the dean's office and informed that he will be expelled permanently. Desperate, Raju pleads for a second chance, but the dean ignores his pleas. In the following scene, Rancho and Farhan rush Raju to the hospital after the unthinkable incident. Fortunately, Raju survives but is left in a state of paralysis. Pia, who is also a doctor, informs them that Raju can see and hear them, urging them to act happy and motivate him to recover quickly. From that day forward, Rancho and Farhan dedicate themselves to bringing Raju back to health. They organize parties for him and do everything in their power to provide encouragement and support. In an effort to uplift Raju's spirits during his recovery, Rancho and Farhan tell him fake news that might bring him joy. They buy clothes for his mother that she always wanted, and Raju's expulsion is also terminated. However, these positive developments fail to restore him. In a creative attempt, Rancho lies to Raju, saying that Farhan is going to marry his sister, who is supposedly desperate for a husband. This news prompts Raju to come out of paralysis, and his first words are to call them rascals, asking them to stop lying. On the day of the recruitment, Farhan receives a letter from his favorite photographer, inviting him to be his assistant. All he has to do is seek his father's permission. Similarly, Raju decides to face the interviews fearlessly, abandoning his reliance on fortune rings. During the interview, he candidly reveals his bad grades and the reason he was on the verge of expulsion. His unique attitude impresses the interviewers, leading to a job offer. After emotionally convincing his father to allow him to pursue photography, Farhan and Raju, in a playful tradition, take off their pants in front of Rancho to pay their respects, adhering to the college's ritual. Virus, who was confident that Raju would fail, is displeased to be proven wrong. While intoxicated, Virus boasts to his daughters that he will set the exam questions, making them the most difficult ever. Concerned for the guys, Pia brings the second key to Virus's office to help them. In the present, the guys call Pia to inform her that they found Rancho. However, they discover that she is getting married in a few hours. Deviating from their original route, they decide to pick her up as well. Initially reluctant, Pia, who is still in love with Rancho, refuses to join them. However, when she sits beside her future husband, she uncovers that the man beneath the headwear is Raju, attempting to take the groom's place in a desperate bid to convince her. The night before the final exams, Farhan and Rancho decide to steal the question papers. Their motivation is not personal gain but concern for Raju, fearing he might do something drastic if he fails. Upon acquiring the papers, Raju refuses to use them. Virus catches wind of the situation and storms into the room, finding the question paper on the floor. He promptly expels them all, leaving the friends with no choice but to pack their belongings and leave. Upon Varys's return home, Pia reveals a shocking truth. His eldest son, who had died in an accident, had actually taken his own life due to pressure from Varys to become an engineer. After sharing this revelation, Pia storms away. Shortly thereafter, Maya goes into labor, but with the city flooded, Varys is unable to take her to the hospital. Witnessing this on his way out, Rancho prepares to lend a helping hand. Scene: Pia instructs Rancho through the phone on delivering Maya's baby. They place Maya on a table tennis board, encouraging her to push harder. However, she is weak and struggling to breathe. With no other option, they resort to using a vacuum cup, and Pia demonstrates the process through the computer. Rancho, inspired, decides to create a makeshift vacuum cup using materials available around the college. After much effort, he successfully delivers Maya's baby, a beautiful boy who cries moments after birth. As Rancho prepares to leave, Varys stops him and presents him with the astronaut's pen, which he was meant to give to an extraordinary student. Varys also answers the lingering question about why astronauts don't use pencils in space, explaining the potential danger of floating pencil nips. By the end of the night, Varys forgives the students, allowing them to take the final exams. In the subsequent scene, the friends graduate, and Rancho once again secures the top position. As the ceremony unfolds, he departs in a taxi, marking the last time Farhan and Raju ever see him. Despite numerous attempts to contact him over the years, they couldn't find him until now, when they have his exact address. Upon reaching the location, they discover that Rancho is a teacher at the school. While searching for him, they encounter the janitor, Millimeter, now grown up. Pia drives to where Rancho is teaching students by a lake. Approaching him, she slaps him in the face before sharing a passionate kiss. Soon, Farhan and Raju join in and express their frustration, physically confronting Rancho for abandoning them. However, amidst the confrontation, they come to understand that he had to keep his promise to the real Rancho. As the group reunites, Shatur also joins, taking the opportunity to mock Rancho for being a school teacher. He cheekily compares Rancho's 5,000 rupees salary to his supposed $1 million earnings. Observing Rancho with Varys's pen, Shatur seizes it as well. Curious about Rancho's real identity, the group asks for his true name. To everyone's surprise, he reveals himself to be the great inventor, Mr. Poonsuk Wangdu, whom Shatur is hoping to sign a deal with. Wangdu calls Shatur from his number and relays the message to him. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our next recaps on this channel. Until next time, happy watching.